Uh-oh, she's texting dudes. Dudes are in her DMs. Dudes are everywhere. Dudes who are better than you. Dudes who have better game than you. What are you going to do? What are you going to do so they don't get your girlfriend, so they don't get your wife, the girl you're dating? What are you going to do? Today we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about 3 steps, what to do when you know that guys are sliding into her DMs, when she's scrolling on Tinder, when she's on dating apps. Then we're going to talk about a few concepts, and then I'm going to tell you 3 things you definitely should not do because they will cause you to be thrown out like a pile of garbage. Are you ready? All right, step number 1. Dudes are in her DMs. She's texting them. What are you going to do? The first thing you should do is keep this to yourself. Don't tell her. Why, you ask? Why would you not tell her? Well, because I want you to be in the dominant position of having information that she does not have. Okay? If you let her know, you are going to start a fight, and it's going to likely be a fight that you're not prepared for and a fight that you're going to lose. We're going to talk about why not to do that at the end of this video. But first, step number 2, I want you to watch how she's treating you. I want you to be hyper aware of how she's treating you. And I want you to ask yourself if she's wearing the pants in the relationship now. Because generally what's happening when a woman starts doing some window shopping for new penises, what's happening is she is starting to wear the pants, or there's been an erosion of dominance in your relationship, right? So when you start out your relationship, you're this cool guy, you're maybe dominant in some area, maybe you're an artist and she comes to see your art exhibit, right? And that's how you're dominant, and then she meets you and you're a certain measure of social dominance, and you talk with her and you guys flirt and she likes you and all that stuff, right? So there's a certain level of dominance you have at the beginning of the relationship, and what women like to do is pick and prod and poke and poke the bear. They poke that dominance, and they really like to test and see exactly what the measure of your dominance is interpersonally between you and her. Okay, so over time, because as men we like to have peace, we generally err on the side of like, oh God, I'll just do anything to like make this go away. Just please let it go away so I can watch the football game, right? So in the course of wanting this peace and doing anything to like make her concern or BS go away, what happens is we inadvertently, without knowing it, are giving up our level of dominance in the relationship. We're giving up the part where we wear the pants over time, and that erosion of dominance is happening until we're submissive enough in the woman's eyes that we're not attractive anymore. We've lost respect. It's a bad thing to happen, and it's probably why she's window shopping in the first place. Okay, so your dominance, your level of dominance has eroded so far that she's going to look for something else, right? There's a mechanism here at play evolutionarily where if she, keeps a guy around and she's got her needs met, and then she can go find another dominant man and maybe have kids a second time, then, her genes have a better, chance. I don't know how that works. I'm a scientist. I'm not a scientist. But something like that evolutionarily is probably happening. Okay, so the third step. Once you've looked at what's happening and you've become hyper aware of how she's treating you and whether or not she believes that she's wearing the pants in the relationship, now you have to look for opportunities to reestablish that dominance. In other words, if a little tiffy-taffy comes or she's picking and prodding at you, those opportunities to reestablish dominance need to be taken. You need to be eager and kind of willing to have a little bit of a fight. Now, I don't mean lashing out. I don't mean being reactive. I don't mean doing anything other than being calm and assertive about what's going on. I don't mean overreacting. I just mean that you have to reestablish dominance one by one as your opportunities to do so come at you. As she picks and prods and pokes you, you have to start taking the initiative to kind of win those little battles a little more than you are. Okay? The goal is to reestablish dominance, because when we reestablish dominance, we reestablish attraction. If you can be dominant, you're going to have attraction. Okay, so here's the concepts going on here. Why do we just shut up and not let her know and not create a big fight? And why do we just look for opportunities and win them and reestablish dominance? Why is that the play? Well, here's the reason why. Women are very unlikely to leave dominant men. The very fact that women are picking and prodding and poking at your level of dominance means that it's never really fully established. It's a constantly moving kind of a factor. So men who are dominant and who understand dominance are rare. They're hard to get, and these are fought for men. If you understand these concepts and you can put them in play, you are a rare guy, you are a valuable guy, and women are not about to give that up. It's a hard thing to find. We're talking about a top 5%, top 4 or 3, 2% kind of a guy. Here's the other thing that's going on. I've done this for a lot of years. It's really a weird concept that I can only describe through my own experience. I used to teach a bunch of guys, and a lot of guys were non-dominant, and a lot of guys were just meeting the girls. Some guys were in relationships and this was happening. Some guys were married and this was happening. But this was the same lack of dominance with all these guys. So let's say that these guys were texting. We used to line a bunch of phones up on a Sunday after coaching, and I would text all these girls. I can take a guy's phone, maybe he's in a non-dominant position with his wife, girlfriend, girl he's just started dating, whatever it is. I can take his phone, literally start being dominant or taking dominant actions. This doesn't mean domineering, it means dominance. That's a whole other video. I can explain, I will explain that over the next course of however many videos, but I can take his phone and he's in the submissive position. I can start being dominant. And although I thought that the girl would know immediately it's not her guy texting, it doesn't work that way. What happens is the girl just starts acting right. She stops testing and picking and prodding and ruining the guy's peace. All those things just magically go away, and the girl's happy to be with the guy, re-attracted, loves him, and that's it. That's how it works. If you are dominant, you have attraction. If you are not, and you act to keep the peace, then your dominance will be eroded, up to and including you getting dumped. Girls will just dump you. Oh, he wasn't good enough, And it's like you're a piece of garbage. They just throw you out. Bye. Next one. It's brutal. Okay, so that's 3 steps that we do, and then that's a couple concepts for you. Now, here's the things you don't do. Number 1. Well, we already said number 1. Don't let her know. Don't tell her. A big mistake is for guys to tell the girl, like, I see you're messaging guys, and now it's this huge blow-up fight. You look really insecure. The girl is going to take the stance that, like, she's got it all under control. And after all, I view it as her job to, like, fend off those attacks anyway. She's going to do it. She's going to do it. She's not going to do it. She's not going to do it. She's better at getting rid of dudes than you are. Trust me. She's better at keeping guys at bay than you would be. Any amount of telling her and having this fight it's just going to be an explosion. It's going to make you look bad. And it's also what I call a reactive behavior. Anytime a girl does something and you're in a reactionary position to what she's doing and you react to something, that's a submissive frame to be in. You're the submissive position when you're reacting to something she did, which is number 2. And the last and final thing you should not do is do not try controlling her. This is the fucking worst thing you can do, and I see guys do it all the time. They try to get in there and tell the guys, or they try to tell her you can't do this, or they try to, just any measure of controlling the girl's actions. These are the type of guys who also they like to tell the girl what to wear and that she has too much cleavage or too little or whatever. These are all these controlling type actions are really terrible. I have a firsthand seat in seeing a lot of girls who date behind their guys' backs. And women have no respect for a guy who tries to be controlling. It's abusive. Often there's physical violence involved. Girls don't respect it. It's just not the way to win. The way you should win is by, at least in my opinion, the way that you should win is by hanging back and just fixing yourself. Like, just win. Like, win because you're better. It's the best defense you have against other men in the whole world is winning because you're better than that guy. Just win, right? And if you lose, take your L. Take the L. Be like, lost that one, you know? We all lose them. And I know it's hard to get other girls for a lot of guys, right? But just take your loss if you lose and just try to win. Just win. Just be better. That's the best thing you can do. And the way you can be better is by being dominant. That's today's video today, guys. Hope you like it. See you next one.